Mm, all right, I think we're good. Okay. Hey, Dr. Dewberry, event plan industry. This assignment is no different. The human connection problem that I will be discussing here can be applied in the event planning industry is being perceived by others. Perceiving begins as a nonverbal communication problem, but can lead to a verbal, but it can certainly be applied in hypothetical situations. So perceiving someone affects all parties involved. As stated in perceptual barriers of communication, and I quote, percep- percep- sorry, perception barriers are mental they disrupt effective communication because they prevent us from having healthy conversations with others. So we all unconsciously perceive others without realizing based on our biases centered around what that person does, looks like, etc. Perceiving is usually only done at the initial start of a relationship, as you don't yet know who that person is or what they represent. This can be a problem because it can ruin potential relationships and connections before it even starts. Um, Assuming something based on your mental biases of that person can leave the person offended, leaving a bad first impression and you in embarrassment. For example, right? Imagine you're again interviewed for a job you really want. The interviewer, your potentially future boss, is a tall black man. You may mistakenly start the conversation by asking him if he's ever played basketball, possibly offending him and starting the interview on the wrong foot based off stereotypes. In the event planning industry, event planners are often hired because the people that hire the planner do not know how to properly plan their own event and need help formulating ideas. Sometimes they leave the event planner the responsibility to plan the entire thing. And it's important for the event planner to not go solely off perception of their hirers. In this type of scenario, planning an event based on the perceivement of the client can go wrong, causing offense and possibly burning the bridge with the client, losing the possibility of any future events with them, and thus losing money and, more importantly, your credibility. This can also apply the other way around, though. Your client can perceive you, the event planner, based on their unconscious stereotypes and perceptions they have based on how you act and look. This can restrict the relationship between you and the client, preventing the possibility of the event being brought to its full potential. Alternatively, though, this can be twisted into a positive viewpoint if you're able to get a good perceivement from the client. A study conducted by Josie Lapierre, I think I pronounced that right, called Customer Perceived Value in Industrial Context, found that the customer perceivement is important to especially communication and entertainment type businesses, which event planning customer perception. As explained by ClueTrack and What is Customer Perception, customer perception is when the customer collects information about a product and interprets the information to make a meaningful image of a particular product. In this case, the product is the event planner and the company. As stated before, everyone unconsciously perceives everything in their life. It's a natural thing. If every dog you've ever met in your life has been vicious towards you, you naturally can perceive that the next dog that comes your path to be vicious as well. It's habit. It's natural. Um, Customers will perceive the event planning company whether the company wants it or not, good or bad. Um, this human this human communication problem can give me further insight into this type of career by starting a few steps ahead, knowing the problems that perceiving can bring. To avoid perceiving, you have to have a good set of interpersonal skills. Um, by having this skill set, it allows one to actually know someone instead of assuming who they are based on appearance. To have interpersonal skills means that you have good listening skills, verbal and nonverbal communication skills, and empathy. Having interpersonal skills would be a benefit to any sort of career, but it emphasizes with event planning specifically due to the fact that event planning revolves around building relationships with clients. Without it, you can't really be a successful event planner. Um, this human communication problem would indirectly improve my interpersonal skills if I utilize it correctly, and give me the opportunity to have further success in my career path in the industry. Not only does this communication problem give me insight in bettering my perception, but it allows me to take advantage of it and use it in a positive way. As mentioned before, customer perception is something that cannot be avoided and therefore should be used to shine a positive light on yourself and the company that you represent, strengthening the reputation and building a loyal set of clientele. With this type of insight, I'll be able to strengthen my interpersonal skills and turn this communications problem into a solution. With myself in the event planning industry, I will avoid this problem with a number of solutions. I think the most important step, the first step in avoiding perceiving people, is being aware of it in the first place. You can't stop it if you're not conscious of it, right? Perceiving it may not be completely avoidable, but it can be improved. So, in communication in the real world, an introduction to communication studies produced by the University of Minnesota Libraries Publishing, they stated we can improve our perceptions of others by developing empathetic listening skills, becoming aware of stereotypes and prejudice, and engaging in self-reflection. When meeting a client, I will avoid perceiving by allowing them to introduce themselves first instead of me dictating who they are in my own head. Another word for perceiving someone based on your biases is called schemata. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Schemata. I'm gonna say schemata. I hope that's right. The article mentions this, the one I just talked about, and it states that we rely on schemata almost constantly to help us make sense of the world around us. Sometimes schemata become so familiar that we use them as scripts, which prompts mindless communication and can lead us to overlook new information that may need to be incorporated into the schema. So it's important to remain mindful of new or contradictory information that may warrant revision of a schema. So following this type of mindset will allow me to build a relationship with the client, avoiding any false narratives I may put in my head initially, and before I initially meet them. By building a connection with them, I can also get a feel of how they would like me to set up their event if they were to leave me completely in charge of it instead of me just assuming what they would like based on my perception of them. This will allow me to run a successful event, reinforcing that relationship and setting me up for the future events with the client, as well as putting a positive perceivement on me and the company that I work for. So, in this assignment, perceiving was initially looked at as a human communication problem in general, but specifically in the event planning industry. It's been established that this does not always have to be the case, as perception can be twisted to work in our favor and be used in a positive way when it comes to clients' perception. With further insight into my career path in the event industry, this problem gives me the opportunity to better my actions on perceiving, indirectly indirectly strengthening my interpersonal skills and turning this problem into a solution that could be beneficial. Perceiving is only a human communication problem if you're unaware of it, being closed-minded and restricting us from experiencing new information from people. By developing powerful interpersonal skills and being aware of it, perception can lead me to obtain success within the industry, building relationships, and thus more events along the way. And that's all I have for you. Thank you.